There are officially 10 days until the NFL 2026 draft, and I am very excited. I think it's going to be a very unpredictable one. There's a lot of really good prospects, especially on the defensive side of the ball and at the wide receiver position. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Today, we're going to be predicting what's going to happen in round one of the 2026 NFL draft. I did this 2 weeks ago. Some things might have changed. You have to stay tuned. But a couple days or the day before the NFL draft starts, I will do a full 7 round mock draft. So stay tuned for that. And comment down below who you think your team is going to pick. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoy. So I thought for this specific mock draft, I'm going to do the idea and mindset of not what I think teams are going to do like I did last week, but I'm going to have the mindset of what I would do if I was the general manager in that situation. We are going to start off with the Las Vegas Raiders, and this hasn't changed. It's not going to change. It's very predictable who they're going to take. They signed Kirk Cousins to complement him, which is what I predicted that they should have done, and the Raiders are going to make Fernando Mendoza their franchise quarterback from Indiana Hoosiers, who just won the national championship. I think it's going to be a good pick, but they got to start Kirk Cousins game one. They got to let Mendoza sit behind and learn. Every quarterback in this year's draft class, there is not one who should start game one. Not one. I believe in these guys right here. Taylor Green, I think, is underrated. Drew Aller, I really like. But none of these guys are capable of starting game one, and they shouldn't. This should be the first draft class where we bring back sitting for about a year or at least half the season before you go into a game. Next up, we have the New York Jets. Obviously, the Jets have a lot of holes, but I think if they're going to say Geno Smith is their guy and they're going to believe, in that stereotype, I think that the Jets, maybe they will go defensive side of the ball. I still see Arvell Reese. I mean, I could see them taking a wide receiver, but I think they might do that with their second pick or their first pick in the second round. I just think it's the smart pick. You take the best player available. The Jets roster is nowhere near in the water to compete right now, and I think them just taking the best player right there will show that. And then is Arvell Reese from Ohio State. Arizona's a lot more interesting. I think the wide receiver room is decent the way it is. But I think they have a really, really bad offensive line. Last week, I said they took Francis Muega from Miami. Let's just switch it up a little bit and say they take Spencer Fanu. It's probably going to be Francis, might not be, but let's just say they go with Spencer for the sake of difference. The Cardinals, though, I think are not anywhere near really ready to compete either. Based off the moves they did this offseason, they didn't really do much. They are looking like a team, first year head coach and all that, new quarterback. They're going to be a team that's going to be kind of rebuilding, tanking boat this season. Tennessee. Now, they did a lot of things to help their team, but there's obviously still work to do. I could see them going Sony Styles, linebacker from Ohio State. They could go Ruben Bain Jr., which is an ideal pick. They could also go David Bailey. But I think ultimately the Tennessee Titans, I just have a weird feeling that they're going to go Sony Styles. I think they're just in a situation where they got to take one of the best players available. Sony Styles and Arvell Reese was an incredible duo for the Buckeyes last year, and both of them are going to go in the top 5. Then we have the New York Giants. A lot of people are saying Jeremiah Love. It doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't, because they have Cam Skadoo, right? You could make the case, take the best player available. Jeremiah Love was incredible in college last year, but I'm not going to justify it for the Giants. If they do that, it's not a smart pick. You have Cam Skadoo. If he is still on the board for them, I think the Giants in this situation would go Carnell Tate to pair with Malik Nabers. I think that would make the most sense. Another Ohio State Buckeye off the board relatively early. I think it just makes the most sense. Malik Nabers is your only good wide receiver. Then you have Darnell Mooney, he's okay, but don't rely on him. Obviously, unfortunately, Nabers had an injury last year, so he wasn't available. So if you bring in Carnell Tate, Hopefully, obviously, it doesn't happen. But if it does happen again, you have somebody right there. I think Carnell Tate is a very good wide receiver, and he's going to be a star in the NFL. The Giants are going to do what the Panthers did. They're going to take 2 wide receivers in the first round 2 years in a row. Cleveland Browns. Oh, gosh. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just say they take Francis. I think it'll be vice versa. They'll take Spencer Fuanu, or they'll take Monroe Fleen, wherever he is. I went with a different ranking this time. I went with The Athletic draft prospect ranking. Later this week, I'm going to make a video about different position groups ranking college players based off film and highlights. So if you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Get ready for that. But Francis Moiga, he's a star. He's going to be a good football player. And unfortunately, in this mock draft, he's going to the Cleveland Browns to do it. But the draft, man, it's so unpredictable. Like, yeah, I am 95% sure in my mind that Francis is going to the Cardinals, but you never know. The draft is one of those things in sports that you do not know what teams value about certain players. I did this last week, and I'm gonna do it again. Caleb Downs fits the Commanders' defense like a baseball glove. Um, it's not really close. Maybe they go Jeremiah Love there if Caleb Downs doesn't go to the Giants or the Titans. But that pick just fits like a glove to me. New Orleans Saints. This is a team that's definitely going to take best player available, and I think in this situation they will go David Bailey. 2 weeks ago when I did this, I have David Bailey. Forgot where I had him go, but I had the Saints take a guard in this spot last time I did this. This time they take the edge rusher to help their defense. They just move on from. Or Cam Jordan's getting older. I believe he's not on the team anymore. I forgot. I think he's not. I could be wrong. Saints defense has been aging over the last few years, and it's time they finally get younger. Kansas City Chiefs. They just lost a lot in their secondary, and for their second straight mock draft, they're going to go Mansour Delane from Louisiana State University. I don't think it's much debate. I think the Chiefs either go him or McCoy at 9. Maybe Reuben Bain Jr., but I think Delane is more of a need considering they just lost Jalen Watson and McDuffie to the Rams. So I think that just makes the most sense for the Chiefs right now, but I could be wrong. Cincinnati Bengals, Trey Hendrickson is gone. They're going to go Reuben Bain Jr. I don't know if Reuben Bain's going to drop to 10. Probably not. I don't think realistically he's going to get past this stretch right here, these three. But just for today, he does. And Reuben Bain Jr. is a Cincinnati Bengal in this case. All right, moving on. We have the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins are interesting this season because obviously they had a very eventful offseason where they got rid of a lot of players. Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Waddle, Tua Tagovailoa, plenty more. Mika Fitzpatrick. They got rid of pretty much everybody. New coach, new everything. So it's fair for Miami to do that, and they are in a rebuild direction, which is why I think they're going to take the best player available here. Now, who do they consider that? I don't know, but I think based off these rankings right here, I don't think it would be too crazy to say that, let's see. I'm trying to just think. I think Monroe Freeling could be a good pick for the Dolphins here. I also like Falk for them. Let's say Keldrick Falk is a Miami Dolphin. You have to improve in the trenches to win in the NFL, and the Dolphins will do that with their first pick here. I think that it is a good one. Dolphins struggled last year defensively, especially getting to the quarterback, so I think this will definitely help. Dallas Cowboys, I could see them going Jermon McCoy to fix that corner spot that's been weak for a while now. The Cowboys' defense was mid last year. If the Cowboys, or no, they weren't good at all, actually. If the Cowboys' defense was mid last year, then I think that the Cowboys would have definitely been a playoff team with how well CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Dak Prescott were playing. Jake Ferguson played really good too, Javonte Williams. So I think if the Cowboys defense was played mid last year, they would have been a good playoff team. But McCoy goes to the Cowboys, and the Rams here are at 13. They could go different options. But I could see them also taking, let's see. I don't think, definitely not Jeremiah Love here. Jeremiah Love probably goes top 20, I would say. That's my estimate for him. They could go Mekhi Lemon. They do have two good receivers, though. I think the Rams go Caden Proctor. I think they just build a little bit more in the trenches. They get Proctor out of Alabama at number 13th overall. Last week I had them going Ty Simpson. May have been a little early, but I think that pick is justifiable. Ravens. I think this one's either Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson. I'm gonna go Mekhi Lemon. I know an AFC North wide receiver when I see one, and Lemon fits the personality. Tampa Bay, but Ravens. I think their hope is either Tyson, KC, or Lemon. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one's a little tougher one too. I could see them going. Uh, they do kind of need a wide receiver, right? I don't think they take one here though. Who's that edge? Tampa does need an edge. That would be a reach. Linebacker. Hope Jacob Rodriguez goes to the Panthers, man. Hope he does so bad. Corner. Could take him. Yeah, this team definitely needs. They don't need a tight end. This mock draft is kind of tweaking there. I could see the Buccaneers realistically going with a corner. And let's say they go with Chris Johnson. I really don't know much about the guy, but let's just say they go with him. I do want to say something about the wide receiver room in this year's draft. I think all the way up to Denzel Boston, these guys are really, really good. And I think Antonio Williams and Malachi Fields are really good too. I think Surratt from Indiana, Zach Branch from Georgia, like these guys are going to be good. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think of more underrated names down here because there's a lot. There's a lot of good football players in this year's draft class. Um, yeah, I mean it's a really good Colby Young. I watched him play at Georgia. He's going to be very underrated in the NFL. Hopefully, he gets an opportunity. And then let's see. I also know about Logan Loya. I think he will. If he gets an opportunity, he could be another Isaac Tesla. Never know. But yeah, I mean, a lot of good football players in this year's draft, especially at the wide receiver position. But the New York Jets are on the clock again. They went they went Arvo Reese last time. I'm pretty sure. I'll just double check. They did at edge. This time, the Jets take an offensive position, and this could be a spot where a team takes a quarterback, such as Ty Simpson, but I don't think they'll do it that early. I think the New York Jets here, they could go with a wide receiver. They could also not. They could also. I think they'll take a guard here. They'll take Ian Owain from Penn State. Don't know how to say his last name. I apologize. At number 16 for their offensive guard position. Number 17. I got the Detroit Lions. It's a tough one. They just got rid of Demo. Obviously, they still have Gibbs. They need to improve up front. But again, yeah, they tackle did just retire. They got Cade Mays at center. Lions go Monroe Freelane from Georgia. A lot of good tackles in this draft too. Minnesota Vikings at 18. I could see them going Dylan here. Let's see. Ooh, you know who they will go, I think? They could, you know what? They're taking Jeremiah Love. If Jeremiah Love is on the board at 18, the Minnesota Vikings will take him to pair with Aaron Jones. But I'm being honest with you guys. I think Jeremiah Love will go top 20 for sure. I just don't know where. Jeremiah Love, I think, is an incredible running back. He's the best running back in this class. I just don't know where he's going to go. I really don't. Carolina Panthers, they'll go Kenyon Sadiq. I like our tight end room, as I've stated before, but Kenyon Sadiq would bring it to another level, and he'd be a great weapon for Bryce. They already improved the defense this offseason, so I think it would be proper to take a tight end with our first pick here. Dallas Cowboys again. Obviously, with the trades that they have made, they have another pick here. Let's see, just make sure I pick Jermon McCoy, cornerback. So they'll take their second need one of their second needs. They're going to take a chance on. I think they'll take a chance on a safety. One of these safeties here. They've been drafting a lot in the first round, specifically guys named Tyler for their offensive line. Cowboys, they will go Dylan from Oregon. They will take the chance. They will add more to their secondary, which again, Cowboys defense struggled a lot last year. So hopefully they use their 2 first-round picks on smart defensive players. Pittsburgh Steelers, they could go quarterback. I think they will. I think this is a potential spot that they take a quarterback like Ty Simpson. I don't know if teams have Ty Simpson as their second best quarterback in this class. I think it's probably close between him, Garrett, and Klubnik, but could be wrong. Los Angeles Chargers, they take Jordan Tyson. I can't remember where I had him last week. I think I had him go higher, but Jordan Tyson, I think, is a very good wide receiver. I think he's arguably the best right next to Carnell Tate, and I think he's going to go to a team like the Chargers that need him. Philadelphia, they're going to go KC because A.J. Brown's not going to be an Eagle in June anymore, so they're just going to take a wide receiver here. I think the wide receivers will really start to fall mid-late first round, as they should. Again, very talented wide receiver class this year. Very talented. Cleveland Browns, who did I take last time? Francis, offensive tackle. They could go wide receiver too, and they're going to go Omar Cooper Jr. That's 3 wide receivers in a row, 22, 23, and 24. Chicago Bears on the board. They lost a lot in their secondary for the most part, so I think that's where they potentially could go. And I could see this team taking somebody like Avion Terrell at corner to help those needs. They lost Nahshon Wright, and I think that will help them a lot. Buffalo, they took a wide receiver. I could see them taking an edge rusher to help Greg Rousseau and Bradley Chubb. I could also really see Buffalo taking a little gamble here, and they're going to go with Emmanuel McNeil-Warren from Toledo. Obviously, it is a little gamble there, but I think it could pay off for the Buffalo Bills to help improve that secondary. San Francisco, they'll go Caleb Lemieux, best tackle available, best player available. The Niners are ready to compete if they could stay healthy. Getting Mike Evans is huge for them. Houston Texans, they're going to go offensive line. They'll just take, I know they may not need a tackle, but I think they'll just take the best lineman overall, move people around. They're going to take Blake Miller from Clemson to help their horrendous offensive line. Chiefs are on the board again. Last time they took, let's see, I can't drag it. There we go. They took Mansour Delane from LSU. I think this time around, Chiefs go a wide receiver, and they take Denzel Boston from Washington. I don't trust the Chiefs wide receivers to stay on the field for a variety of reasons. So they're going to take Denzel Boston. He's a player that could fit that team. And the Dolphins are up again. Last time I had them in the trenches, I believe. Edge rusher Keldrick Falk. I think they probably won't double dip there, but they could go with a player like Colton Hood and then focus on offense in the second and third round. New England Patriots, who were just in the Super Bowl, they definitely need a wide receiver. And I think they are a trade-up team that could trade up. They have Romeo Doubs, but that's really it. We'll say they take TJ Parker from Clemson. I think it's the right move there to get an edge rusher to help them out. Finally, the Seattle Seahawks, the Super Bowl champion. I think they go running back here, but it would be a little early for those running backs. This is a team that could improve in the trenches a little more. Let's say they take Akeem Mizador from Miami. So this is my dashboard for full results for my second mock draft of the 2026 draft season. I switched some things up, so it just wasn't the same thing. But next week, before you guys bully me in the comments, next week, the draft is Thursday. Wednesday, I will have a video of my full 2026 7th round mock draft, and you guys will see my official mock draft. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Stay tuned for that. That will be my official predictions for the 2026 NFL draft. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below who you think your team is going to pick. Make sure you stay tuned for that video. And until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.